Welcome to partialarc.com. Don't do that.
Do you want to hear a story?
I'm not letting go.
Are you ready for this?
Follow your heart.
I'm going in.
This is
Blockbuster Smash Up.
Welcome to another episode of Blockbuster Smash Up. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and as each episode, I'll be joined by my awesome co-host, Todd G. Levin, and our special guests, as we try to smash one globally accepted good film and one globally accepted bad film into one hopefully cohesive new film for you guys, and it's gonna get real weird. With that said, let's dive in and meet our guests. All right, Todd, please introduce our wonderful guests.
Well, hello. Here we have Hillary Levy.
Levi, like the jeans, actually.
Shit.
Good start.
Hillary Levi. This is my friend. That
Just
I'm
like the
supposed
jeans
to
I
know,
hear.
But you're changing jobs.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a development assistant. I'm gonna be an assistant to a producer, but I also do freelance script reading and book coverage, and I also founded the co-ed cinema fraternity.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
You do a lot of things in between jobs and
At
during
USC.
jobs.
Oh yes,
Yeah, right.
We're now at 16 chapters.
Really?
Yes,
At
DKA.org.
At different universities?
Yes.
Wow, good for you.
Thank
wow,
you.
That's actually really cool.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Huh. I didn't mean to say actually. Never mind the actually.
It's fine.
It's really cool.
I didn't even pay attention to me, actually.
And neither did the listeners.
No.
Well, Hillary Levi, as I now know your last name to be. I'm sure I've done that before, maybe.
It happens all the
Listen,
time.
as 11, I know.
Well, the fun
Levi's
fact-
and Levins, a
Yeah.
lot of
Well, you are-
cross problems.
Yeah,
Wait, how do you miss say Levin?
I get Levine
Trines.
or Levin. And that other voice you hear is Grant Olin. Is that how you say your
that how
last
you say your name, Grant?
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
you got it right.
Jesus.
Oof, good.
Grant's a previs artist, and he's really cool. Period.
Yeah.
Those are the only
Sort
two
of.
facts you need to know.
I recently sort of quit doing previs.
Did you really?
Whoa.
Yeah.
What's the next?
Mainly
Iteration.
directing stuff, producing stuff.
Great. I'm glad. I'm happy for you. That's good.
Yeah, it's going well.
We'll talk about that.
This was good.
Oh, yeah.
This was good.
Thanks, guys.
Good
Thanks for
job.
coming on.
Goodbye.
Thanks.
Goodbye,
Really
everyone.
appreciate it.
Everything's good.
Really appreciate you guys coming on. Thanks a lot.
Levi left, but Levy's back with us, so nice to have you here.
Thank you very much. It's so great to be
Now
here.
you have to do that voice the entire time.
Yes, pretty much.
All right, so Todd, we usually open our podcast with some personal questions to get to know you guys a little bit better because we didn't get to know you well enough already.
This is the getting to know you section. Okay, movie you remembered loving as a kid, then rewatched and learned that it was actually terrible.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. This
there's
is
so
a
many.
really easy
Right.
question for me because even though I know it's bad, I still watch it to this day and I love it.
Oh, I can't wait.
Dune.
Oh, you watched that as a
dude.
child? I can't
Do you
imagine
not know
watching
me
that
at
as a
all?
child.
Like that's my favorite book.
Is life.
It's just... Sure, that's exactly what it is.
All right, we're doing a reenactment of the entire movie of Dune.
Don't.
Everybody's down for a radio play. Here it
Homeworld
happens.
Uso.
So, Grant, do you have one?
All right, I'll go with two.
Yeah.
Oh, couldn't
are-
decide.
Both are probably unpopular choices. Goonies and Hook.
Oh,
boy.
yeah. No, I'm with you.
I
I'm with
love
you.
Hook.
I
still
still
think
love
it's a
Hook.
I
good
still
movie.
really
Yeah,
like
I
a
agree.
lot of Hook.
Right.
Anything with Shmi
Yeah.
and Dustin Hoffman, best. Anytime Rufio shows up,
Yeah.
terrible.
Okay, some of that mohawk doesn't hold up.
I rewatched
Currently.
it. Like
Also,
a
the
few
little
years
hook
ago.
latch, the little hook latch on the window, one of the best cinematic moments ever.
It's fantastic.
My favorite
A
moment.
little weird that they kept that
slash
hook latch.
My least
but,
favorite
you know.
moment is the song that she sings.
Oh,
That's-
that
I
song.
see. I
that
blocked
moment.
it out.
Yeah,
That's-
that moment is
I-
like
What about-
go to the
I
bathroom.
did
but
dig
what
deep
about-
into my memory for that.
Yeah.
Wow.
What about the quick draw cell phone gag bit? That might be worse.
I don't even remember that, and I love this movie.
It's when he's being all like, I'm a businessman and I don't have time for my kids. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. They see who can quickly answer their... Oh, my God. That's right. No,
So
why did you
forget
pull
the-
those memories
you blank
out?
You blank
Yeah.
out the terrible shit.
Peter Pan.
Yeah, I completely forgot about
Mr.
that.
Pan, the dickhead.
Wow. All right. Well, guys, we learned a lot about you. A lot of personal things. And now that's going to take us to our game, Blockbuster Smash Up.
Smash, 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 smash,
Smash, smash, smash All right, this is Blockbuster Smash Up. This is the game where we take two films, one globally accepted good film and one globally accepted bad film, and smash them together in hopes of making one cohesive new film for everyone. For this episode, Todd has the good film.
Yep.
And I have the bad film.
Jay's very excited.
Cannot wait to share it.
To give me this movie.
So what we're going to do is on the count of three, we will say both of our films at the same time, forever smashing them together, and they cannot be separated. Are you ready, Todd?
Yeah. I just decide. I always like have maybe a few, and then I decide in the moment.
In the moment?
Yeah.
Whatever feels right.
This feels right.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
On the count of three.
One, two, three.
On
Silence
Deadly
of the
Ground.
Lambs. What?
What is on Deadly Ground?
Silence of the Lambs?
Yeah, we're going for it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I want to get some,
What?
I want to get some Buffalo Bill wild
I have
horses
no
in
idea
it.
how that's going to work, but I'm
Goodbye
very
horses.
interested to see what it
What is on Deadly Ground?
On Deadly Ground. I'll go first because probably nobody knows what this movie is, or maybe if you do, you're very sad.
Okay.
So, on Deadly Ground, this movie answers the age-old question, what if Captain Planet was Steven Seagal instead?
Done. Sold.
The movie
Let's remake it.
The movie takes place in Alaska, where an evil corporation run by Michael Caine is drilling for oil and decide to cut corners to meet a federal deadline.
Real Michael Caine?
Real
Like in the
Michael
movie?
Caine. Real Michael Caine in this
This
movie.
is about how Michael Caine ran a company.
An oil company,
Okay.
yeah. Oh, yeah. This drilling causes a huge accident because he cut corners. Luckily, Steven Seagal, the mysterious oil safety specialist named Forrest, that's his name, saves the day, but starts to suspect Michael Caine is up to something. Of course, Michael Caine, being a sound and reasonable CEO of a billion-dollar company, decides to deal with this minor issue by sending tons of dudes to murder Steven Seagal.
Oh, okay.
Instead of, firing him or suing him, whatever. Anyways, this leads to him hiring R. Lee Ermey and his crack team of combat specialists
Is
to
that
take
the
him down.
actor or the
Yeah,
character?
the actor R. Lee Ermey.
Who the fuck is that?
He's the guy. He's
You know
from
that guy.
Full Metal Jacket.
He's always a drill sergeant.
He's always the drill
All right,
sergeant
all right.
guy. Yeah.
I didn't know that guy's name. Okay.
Yeah, you piece of shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
right.
that guy. Anybody who screams at anyone is R. Lee Ermey secretly.
The same guy.
It's
in
the same
every
guy.
movie.
And now Arlie Ermey says a lot of insane things in this movie, but there are two very specific lines that he says that I must repeat here, that he says to his team of killers to tell them how badass this guy, by the way, who is an oil specialist, who is also secretly from the CIA because he's Steven Seagal and he can't not be secretly from the CIA in every movie. This is what he says to describe to his men how badass he is. This is the kind of guy that would drink a gallon of gasoline to piss in your campfire. That's one of the things he says. I don't know what it means.
Classic.
Second thing, though. You could drop this guy off at the Arctic Circle wearing bikini underwear without his toothbrush, and tomorrow afternoon, he's going to show up at your poolside with $1 million smile and a fistful of pesos. No idea what that means, but apparently it means Steven Seagal is a badass.
So this is like Die Hard
Oh, see, I
with
was-
Steven Seagal on an oil rig.
in an oil rig in
Yeah.
Alaska.
This is
Right.
basically
But-
just going to become Insomnia.
That's exactly
Yeah.
right. That's it. Yeah, you're right.
But
Yeah.
also in this movie, Steven Seagal is rescued at one point by a tribe of Eskimos, and he goes on a vision quest. Where he must,
Whoa.
Oh
All
yeah,
right.
a very long extended vision quest scene where he
Great.
must choose to sleep with either an elderly woman or a
Excellent.
seductive young woman. Of course, he goes with the elderly woman, which gives him powers.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Of course.
To know that Michael Caine is evil. This happens.
Is that like the scene in like Last Crusade where it's like he has to choose the chalice and
I
he
think so,
chooses-
yeah.
He
He
ends
chooses
up-
the ungilded one. You know.
you have chosen wisely.
So he chooses to sleep with an elderly,
elderly woman.
Inuit woman.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it gives him vision powers.
Wait, so does he really actually sleep with her?
No, I think it's like he chooses, and they were
And
like,
then they
"You
were
are
like,
correct."
"You did it. You did it."
Because
Isn't this
for
part of the
Alaska. What?
What?
This is a thing that happens in the Simpsons movie, right?
Does it?
I think it does. Homer
Goes on a vision.
and
I remember
visits a
that.
Crazy,
Man.
Maybe they were making
elderly
fun of
Oh my
this.
god,
Inuit
maybe they were
woman.
making fun of
man.
On Deadly Ground.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That would be great if they were making fun of this.
I'm
really
now going to
obscure movie.
That's
assume
my
that that's what that is so that I can pretend I've seen part of
let's
this.
all
Yeah,
just assume,
right,
yeah.
right.
And really, the rest of the movie just ends with any free Steven Seagal movie. He just slaps and karate chops enough people till they're all dead. And then
Does he run funny? Because he always runs funny.
Yeah, he
with
does.
His ponytail. Like,
And
going back.
full ponytail in this movie. Full power ponytail at this point. It's very
Full
long.
power
What year was this movie made? I'm gonna guess 89.
I think it's around then. So it ends. He gives a very long environmental speech. Some environmental speech. Trust me.
This is about the environment.
The
movie is a
the end of the
message.
movie. Remember, the premise of this film is what if Captain Planet was Steven Seagal instead?
Oh, that's right.
Now, fun facts about this film. This is Steven Seagal's directorial debut.
Yes.
Which means that he got to direct Michael Caine in the craft that is called acting.
In a shit
On Deadly Ground.
movie.
Also, the final Captain Planet-like speech at the end of the movie was originally 11 minutes of just straight unedited monologue. It got edited down, obviously. Last story from
11 minutes.
11 minutes.
I want to know what Michael
substantial.
Caine thinks of this movie.
He does not like it very much. Michael Caine has commented about it. He was not a big fan. Also, last fun fact, and how crazy Steven Seagal is. When one of the actors arrived on set, he was asked to kick Steven Seagal.
Yes.
To show him what he's got.
Yes.
The actor was obviously hesitant to kick said director. Steven caught his leg and threw him to the ground and asked him to try again and give his best shot this
But he
time.
did it like this. Again.
So the actor kicked him as hard as he could and sent Steven Seagal falling to the ground. The next day, when shooting a scene with the actor, Seagal hit him in the throat so hard that he went unconscious for 3 to 4 minutes. Like, literally did this. Also, by doing this, Steven Seagal decided that his character probably died in that moment, and he was written out of the rest of the movie.
Oh, man, but that's his fault. He asked for it.
Yeah.
The actor, that's what I want.
Wow. That was his big break.
Literally.
Some big old like Scandinavian guy who thought he was going to be the next, Arnold
It was like Jason.
Schwarzenegger.
It was like Jason Statham, like a young Statham.
Yeah,
That would have been amazing.
Statham. So, Silence of the Lambs is the story of Clarice Starling, an FBI cadet who is called in to interview the most notorious serial killer of all time, Hannibal the Cannibal, about a current case that she's working on, or the FBI is working on, about this other serial killer who's on the loose called Buffalo Bill.
They all have very fun names. These guys like to have a lot of
Very
fun.
colorful names.
She's a profiler.
Essentially, her and Hannibal Lecter, because he sort of respects her, they begin to have some type of an intellectual relationship between one another, and he leads her on a cat and mouse game to try and find Buffalo Bill, but at the same time leading himself to be in the situation where he can escape and go out into the world once more, because he's the most brilliant mastermind, murderer of all time.
And he loves that wine.
And he loves that
fava
Chianti.
beans.
Now we somehow
Must have to put Silence of the Lambs
and On Deadly Ground.
and On Deadly Ground.
Okay.
Apparently, On Deadly Ground was almost called Rainbow Warrior.
How did I not see that when I was
Rainbow
researching this?
Warrior.
Rainbow Warrior. Okay, so we have to do a cold open here. Reading, like we are in a producer session. We are sitting down. Guys, we have the rights
the
to Silence of
whiteboard.
the Lambs.
I don't have a full thing.
And we have the rights to On Deadly Ground.
I'm just
Where are we
spitballing
starting
here.
here?
Just spitballing.
Just
but-
spitballing here. Hillary, throw it out here. Throw your hot fire.
So we open up. Clarice Starling. She's training. She's getting back into it. She's coming off her big win in the case, but Hannibal the Cannibal's still on the run.
Oh, no.
She gets a mysterious phone call. Starling, it's for you. She answers it. Hello, Clarice. And she's like, oh my God, where are you? Whatever. And he's like, I have a cold case for you.
Oh boy.
To then leading her to look into this Michael Caine character who could potentially be a serial killer.
A serial killer and $1 billion industrialist?
I
Yes.
like this, however, for a cold open, I think we need something a little more bombastic.
Oh, okay.
So we open in an Alaskan oil rig
we're going to combine all of these into one
They're the
singular
more-
mess cold open.
where I don't have anything other than someone finds a dead body.
Okay.
Really? That's your bombastic opening?
Yeah, that's all I had, really. So it wasn't really that exciting.
Does the body explode when they touch it?
No, it's frozen solid.
Oh, this
It's
is
filled with oil.
Wow, yeah.
Whoa.
See,
Bro, I was getting like Goldfinger
like a
level type
that's
here.
where I was heading. It's filled with oil. And,
Good. Is this Casino Royale? Now, Grant, do you have a pitch for a cold open as well?
I'll let you go first.
Oh, okay.
Oh, shit.
So I'm going to
I may ditch mine depending on.
I'm going to go I'm going to actually go off of both Todd and Hillary's cold
Oh.
open. So we open with a dead body. They find a dead body in the woods, and there's oil on him. I guess sure.
In the woods. So not on the
In
rig.
the woods, not on the rig,
With
in the
oil,
woods.
yeah, right.
Because
Maybe it's a worker
'cause-
on the oil rig.
right, because Michael Caine is a crafty killer, Todd. Crafty killer.
Oh, so we already
And-
know that it's Michael Caine.
Well, we don't know this yet. Maybe. So we cut to Clarice, who
gotta
gets the
string the
phone
audience
call
along.
from Hannibal, and Hannibal sends her on this case. But he recommends an old colleague.
Yes.
So she
that's what I was going to say.
so she goes to Alaska.
Oh, no.
And she goes to a lockdown, same high security prison.
No.
Just like Silence of the Lambs. And we follow down the hallway.
Shit.
And we see all these people in these glass cells. And this is
And
this is Alaska's.
one guy jerks off and throws it on her face.
Oh my god.
Sure.
We don't want to go with the male gaze
you're right.
too much in this
You know what, Todd,
movie.
you're right. We need to keep the classic stuff people remember from Silence of the Lambs. So,
All right.
so we're going down, and this is like an ice prison because they couldn't figure out how to reiterate that this is Alaska. They're like, oh, fuck it, it's all ice. Why not?
Well, yeah,
it looks like Hoth, basically. It looks like a Hoth scene from Star Wars.
They just reused that set from that
And
James Bond movie.
They go down to the very end, and who is in the last cell but Steven Seagal?
Meditating.
I can
He's
see
in the
it.
middle of
Meditating. And
I can see it.
he is, he's been put in this prison because this is a genius. By the way, Steven Seagal is going to give an Academy Award level performance.
Now, he doesn't eat people.
Oh, well, I don't know.
Okay.
Does he eat people?
He's
we don't
the
know.
deadliest person in the world.
But
So
you
basically,
know what he's known as.
wherever he stands, he's on deadly ground.
But they all, yes. But yeah, they say, you know what? In fact, there's a line in front of his cell. The mark in front of the line says "on deadly ground."
Just
So if you step
the radius 3 feet.
yeah, the
in any
radius of how you got to
direction.
keep away from Steven Seagal.
he will kill you.
That's the deadly. It's
And
the splash zone. Or
They all have fun names. He is the Rainbow Warrior. was his name, and we
Okay.
can figure out later why he was called that.
And Clarice is like, Rainbow Warrior. I've been sent here by
You
Mr. Lecter.
Clarice, I like
Dr. Lecter.
You have to become the next Rainbow Warrior to take down this killer.
So he's Italian.
So sure,
yeah.
Todd, that was a spot-on Steven Seagal impression.
It was
I don't
pretty
know what you're
good.
trying to
No,
say.
it was pretty good, actually. I was really
So, like,
impressed.
what kind of insight is Steven Seagal going to be giving?
What insight doesn't Steven Seagal have into killers?
I'm sure he...
Steven Seagal has killed more people than anyone.
I've killed my people.
See, I think eventually...
So many people.
I think eventually he's going to have to team up with Clarice Starling and have it be a buddy
Oh, yeah.
cop thing,
Absolutely.
Sure.
Maybe she springs him from...
Yeah.
you know what I mean? She's not supposed to or whatever, but she's like, I need you on this one.
Or
And
maybe
then,
she
you know,
just, like,
she
kind of
leaves
like
a paperclip purposefully on the documents that she
Now,
puts
wait a
through.
second. Now, Steven Seagal is he's a naturalist in this movie. So
Right.
she leaves a piece of bark
Yeah.
in. She leaves like a toothpick.
He can make anything.
He doesn't use manufactured things. He is a master of using
He's
nature.
like a beaver. He can just chew it.
like,
Oh, yeah,
like
I
a
love it.
beaver.
Love it.
In his ponytail, he has for years been hiding multiple like wooden weapons.
He's
Unfurls his ponytail.
and like a wooden key falls out.
He's been collecting wood pieces for years, forming the perfect key, and hides it in his ponytail. Oh my god!
I love it.
Okay, Grant, would you like to make any edits to that cold open?
I don't know. I've got a cold open that's so far different. I don't know if it's worth fucking it up.
Well, maybe we can incorporate it, and it also.
all right.
Let's hear your
might
pitch for that cold
blow our
open is.
minds.
So the old Inuit woman that Steven Seagal must ultimately sleep with is highly important to this movie.
Yes.
Trust me, that's still gonna happen.
Yeah.
So
That's a cornerstone of this
so
film.
She's the Deus Ex Machina.
movie opens with a body being dragged through the snow.
Great.
Okay,
And you go
still
into
works.
you see like a hut made out of like furs and stuff.
Right.
Okay.
You go inside it. You realize the furs are human skin.
And you hear all.
The body is all.
There you go.
The body's all
Because this is
skin
in
and
Australia
bits
now.
are taken off. And you see this old woman covered in furs, like cooking something around a fire.
Ooh.
And then you kind
do
of
sound
cut from her
effects.
like putting something on a fork, like a piece of flesh on a fork, to Michael Caine eating barbecue.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. So that's
we're
the real.
hinting
That's
at
the real cold open.
So Clarice leaves Steven Seagal's cell, and she has to have her first encounter with this industrialist, right? She's going around, she's doing her due diligence. So at some point, Clarice figures out that Michael Caine is doing shady business.
Yeah, I think that's it. I
She
think
has
it's
to
when
break out Steven Seagal. She's like, okay, I need your help. So she helps break him out of Hoth prison, and and they must go into the industrial and have like one final showdown. But first, he feels that she's not ready. So he
Yes.
takes her
training montage.
Yes.
He takes her
Cold
to his
training
village
montage. Oh boy.
to become the next Rainbow Warrior.
Yes.
And she
He
must
is the
have
son of
she's
the
his
Rainbow
apprentice.
Warrior.
She must go on a
She is the prophecy. It's not a man.
It's
a
not
woman.
a man, it's a woman.
gender bending.
She must go on a vision quest.
That's It's actually a really fucking cool sound.
That's what happens when when she starts slipping into the vision. That's the sound she hears.
Wait, but we've lost the old lady.
No, she's there.
She's there.
She's there too?
She's going to be part of the vision quest.
This is what
In fact, you know what, Grant? Bring back the old lady. This was your baby. The old
I feel
lady.
like the old lady and Michael Caine need to be a little like they're working together.
So the old woman had 2 pupils to train as the Rainbow Warrior. One was Steven Seagal and one was Michael Caine.
Nice.
Yes.
Michael Caine fell too far to the dark end of the Rainbow Warrior. But Steven Seagal was
warrior.
the monochrome warrior.
Oh, man.
He was too dark. He did not have enough of those colors.
I like it.
And he's the monochrome warrior, fabled by prophecy to fight the Rainbow Warrior. Oh my god. And the old woman is kind of like the master and favors Michael Caine and wishes that he was the true Rainbow Warrior.
Right.
So this is.
But for some reason, the elements say that he is not, and so she thinks that it's actually the Michael Caine character.
So she's been helping Michael Caine. She's
Right.
been trying to pull him back to Rainbow Warrior status.
Right.
In the absence of Steven
trying to put a
Seagal.
little more color in his cheeks.
Come back to the bright side.
Wow. So in fact, it is Clarice Starling who comes to become the next Rainbow
Well, she
Warrior.
doesn't. Yeah, they start like training with her, and then all he's doing is just training her to be.
And I think the
combat
old
ready.
woman has to, like, in this very, like, old tent, has to pull out, like, a very modern cell phone and call Michael Caine to be like, they're here. You have to get them, Rainbow Warrior. You are the chosen one.
So she,
My son. No, we find out Michael Caine is the adopted son of this woman. There's a lot going on in this movie. A lot of layers.
Levels.
This woman is very old.
he brings her there just to become like battle ready, but then slowly over the course of her little training here,
he sees that
he starts seeing that she's actually better than he is at
The
certain
makings
things.
of Rainbow Warring. And what is the tenets of Rainbow Warring? We must establish them right now.
you
being
must
able,
display color in your whole life.
yeah, being able to differentiate between shades at
That's
a
very
degree
good.
that is, very highly advanced.
Maybe Michael Caine's also colorblind.
Interior decorating.
Oh.
And that's how she gets him in the end. That's just she figures it out because maybe there was a certain
she
color.
defeats him through a battle of colorness.
Yeah.
No, but that's how she
They
figures
look
it
at
out.
swaths of
You can't be the
of
Rainbow
paint.
Warrior and not
If you're
see color.
colorblind.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the line.
So that's what Michael Caine has struggled with all his life. He's a
why
very
he's so
tortured
angry.
character. He's a very tortured character because he
But
wishes he could see
She
the
was
colors
like,
of the rainbow.
Wait a minute. That shirt, the person that died was red, not brown.
And you know what? The producers of this movie realized another movie that they feel like they could pull from this is they add a musical sequence like Pocahontas, like Colors of the Wind.
Yeah, and it's sung
but in
by
fact, it's
Peebo
Clarice
Bryson.
singing.
Oh man.
It's sung by Peebo Bryson. It's the Oscar-winning song.
It's pretty good, I think, and she puts on a great performance. I mean, it's really good. Animals start singing with her. It's the Vision Quest, is
Oh
what
my
happens. So she
Get
goes
on
on a
the
Vision
Vision
Quest.
She goes on a vision quest and she is faced with the decision to have sex with a small a young Inuit boy and an old Inuit man.
And she
says, I don't like this quest at all. And
then they were like,
you are right.
You are right.
She turns it down, and that's how you know she's the Rainbow Warrior.
She's like, I kind of want to make different decisions than this. So like that was the correct
These
answer.
are the only two choices. I'm not really
You've
into it.
chosen
She's
wisely.
like, that's the colors of the rainbow.
It's not just
Multiple.
black and white. There are many choices in life. You are the Rainbow Warrior.
So then she has to like mount an offensive, and it all takes place, I think, on the oil rig where Michael Caine has like, hold himself up in like the top, and she and Steven Seagal have to like go in.
And now it's Die Hard.
It's the raid plus Die Hard plus it's Dread.
She wants to go. So it's just the
Die
raid.
Hard.
Can Carl Urban show up
Yes,
about this point?
absolutely.
Okay, good.
And he's just wearing that helmet still, and we have no idea who he is.
He's wearing a big fucking fur coat, but he's wearing that helmet.
Yeah.
we need to have some
He's
like
one of
man
the-
candy in the movie.
He's
Yeah,
one of
right,
the,
yeah,
he's
we
one
need
of the
some.
Eskimo warriors. Now,
Yeah.
Hollywood's not been very good at casting people that are of the right.
This is the one that
He speaks in
and
one-word
then he
sentences.
gets nominated for an Oscar.
He
Oscar
does.
so white.
He speaks in one-word sentences. Yeah.
Yes.
Just grizzled single words.
He tries to be like Tom Hardy and
Sure.
Mad Max.
Yeah.
He's trying to do that whole thing, but it's just not working.
Whatever.
Just take your shirt off, Carl Urban. Just take your shirt off.
She says that to him, and he does.
Yes.
He obliges.
At the end, they get together in the end.
She
So-
chooses him instead of the old man
so
and the
the
young
three-
boy.
I choose neither of you. I choose that guy.
I choose Carl
in
Urban.
the back.
And he goes, all right.
Sounds good.
I mean, we gotta have.
He said 2 words.
This is the '90s, right? So we gotta have like a random sex scene
Yeah.
in the middle of the movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be Clarice
And it's-
Starling
and they're covered in
Carl
oil.
Urban. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, they're covered in oil.
Sure.
And
There's
it's really-
seals there in the back.
It's really cold outside.
Maybe there's fire around them. It's like the end of Ninth Gate.
We've just watched Clarice sleep with Carl Urban.
Yes.
And we know that they have to raid it up to beat Michael Caine.
Right.
With Steven Seagal.
With
The
Steven
sex
Seagal.
scene ends cutting out to a polar bear roaring at the moon.
Yes. And I think Steven Seagal, they like walk in and
No,
he was,
it's Steven
and
Seagal
he's just like
naked
meditating.
howling with a polar bear outside.
He was
They're
communing
like
with nature.
watching over the hut, like, now my
Yes,
children.
yes. Rainbow Warrior.
Wait, are polar bears North Pole or South Pole?
Who cares?
Who cares?
All right.
Do you think any of the people that made this movie did
Yeah.
any of that research?
I don't think
Not
polar.
a
I don't think
chance.
there's polar
They're
bears in
still calling people
Alaska.
Eskimos. They did not do their
They did
research.
not do
Yeah, they got
any
grizzly
research.
bears.
They got
got grizzly
Carl
bears.
Urban.
Carl Urban is an Eskimo.
As an Inuit.
No research was done.
Yeah. So lots of bear roaring, and then basically they're like,
You are now
"We're ready."
the Eskimo warrior. We must charge Michael Caine and take down their industrial buildings.
Oh,
Okay,
no, that's
thanks.
coming for me.
Thanks, Steven.
He
Seagal.
did that in one take. He would not do a second take, and they moved on.
We're done.
Well, I guess that's it then. Here we go. Next scene. So they storm the building.
Yeah, the
Who
oil
are they
rig.
fighting on the way up? Because we
Oh,
got
just
shirtless Carl Urban.
So many engineers and henchmen.
Clones of Werner Herzog.
There you go.
Perfect.
There you go.
Perfect. So we got.
what
Done.
else? Sarah Palin's.
And how are they taking them out? Are
Sarah
they?
Palin on a polar bear.
Ooh.
Yeah.
No, but the polar
Well,
bear
she
would
wouldn't
be on
ride a
their
polar
side.
bear.
No.
She would be on a
She'd
Segway.
ride like an oil monster.
Or like a...
Ooh, what's an
or a
oil
moose.
monster?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Guys,
she calls
what's
it.
an oil
She would
monster?
ride... Yeah, she would ride an oil monster.
She calls it the monster to nowhere.
It's like Hexus from
Yes.
Fern Gully.
Let's bring some Hexus in here.
Down.
So we in the third act introduce a smog demon.
Anything
Sure,
that relates to
sure.
Alaska is just
Oil-
thrown into
Sure,
the
sure, sure.
second
Anything
act.
that has to do with any preservation movies.
Yeah.
Even the old woman's like, "No, I don't want to say this, but you might run into a demon." You know what? It's probably not going to come up, and they leave. Steven Seagal has to fight Sarah Palin on
Yeah,
on
that's
Hexus
what,
one-on-one.
that's what
his
he's
fight.
doing when they're like, up at the top with the final boss.
Carl
Like,
Urban is fighting another shirtless man
Yes.
covered in evil oil,
And
so
then
that
they
they
just-
both get covered in
they
oil.
just start wrestling,
and
and
it's just
yeah.
so we get to the end and we have our showdown between Clarice, the Rainbow Warrior, against the monochromatic warrior,
Yes.
Michael Caine. And how
she's
does
gonna- she's
she
gonna
has
teach
to
him a
do it
thing
in
or
a
two.
crafty way.
Yeah.
They exchange some blows. They exchange some blows like Matrix style, Agent Smith and Neo in like the subway.
And they find that they're
because
equal,
she picks
right?
up she picks up kung fu because rainbow warring.
Yeah.
It
I think she
happens.
has to
Totes.
like use...
It's the magic of sleeping with Carl Urban and going on a vision
She ends up
quest.
using like a prism that makes it a rainbow.
Oh,
and
wow.
that brings down Michael Caine.
and he can't see the prism
He can't
because he
see
cannot
it.
see it in time.
He literally,
Dank.
because he's colorblind.
That's how prisms work.
Yes.
Nobody look up how prisms work. And
I love that idea, actually.
and
Thank
she
you.
puts it in the light light that's like cooking the oil. Sure, to use the light that
Yeah.
is making his evil oil
and it,
against
like,
him.
it becomes like a vampire and he just like bursts
Whoa.
into a million flames
right.
when the rainbow hits him.
The end fight is very confusing.
But before he
It
dies,
is mulled over by philosophers for years.
but
They don't
before
know
he
what it
dies, he
means.
reveals that he has always been colorblind and he always wanted to be the Rainbow Warrior.
So we have like we kind of have like
to say a world like your world.
wow.
And then
I
he
think
dies.
when the rainbow prison shoots him as he's dying, he's able to see color.
for the first time, and it's like
and
a
he's like
tragic
crying.
villain death. Yeah.
Yes.
and to
But
add
he thinks it's so beautiful. Yeah.
to add to our musical numbers, he has they rip off another Disney song of Part of Your World. He's like, what could it be with
Keep going. Keep going.
a world like
Commit.
yours?
Commit.
Yep.
I wanna see those colors. Flipping through coloring books. What do they call it? Blue.
Crayons.
Yeah.
So that
It's
they
a
get
musical now.
Yeah, they get it's 11 minutes long. So instead of
Yeah.
environmental speech, it's
One
11-minute long.
11-minute long.
Michael
Craig
Caine only
song.
agreed
Craig
to do this
Zayden and
movie.
Neil Marin are gonna get the rights and then put it on NBC Live.
Michael Caine
Yeah.
only agreed to do this movie if he could do an 11-minute Disney song.
Right.
For his kids.
Memories lost in time, like tears in the rain.
Ooh, good callback. Good callback.
Good one. So that's our movie, guys. I'm pretty sure.
Wait, no, there has to be a little denouement moment, right?
What's the
Where, like, at
resolution?
the end.
Yeah, no,
I think-
Hannibal Lecter returns.
I think they walk away from. They're like in a boat, and they're driving away from the oil rig. It explodes. Steven Seagal. They're like, wait, where's Steven Seagal? And then he like comes riding up on like a seal, and he's just like, hey, what's up, guys?
Sorry to defeat Sarah Palin and a smog demon. What were you doing?
And then they ride to shore.
All right, guys. So what was our movie called again?
Silence of the Seals: Return of the Rainbow Warrior.
Excellent.
I mean, I think that's the actual
Yeah,
title.
you nailed it.
Definitely.
You nailed it. Yeah.
So
Great.
what is the poster for this film?
Oh, it's Steve. It's a traditional like Star Wars type poster where Steven Seagal is in the background riding a seal.
Perfect.
Okay, well,
With rainbow lens flares coming out of his
Yes.
eye.
The basic
Yes.
background has to be like one of those hipster wolf
Yes,
shirts.
the three wolf-
where it just has
yeah.
there's a giant moon, and then there's like a
But it's
baying
polar-
Steven Seagal
yeah.
who's like, instead of a wolf
On
it's
top
like-
of a seal,
And it's-
howling
top of a
at
seal.
howling at the moon.
Howling.
and then we get our tableau with all of our
Clarice
characters.
Starling with Carl Urban, and then Michael Caine's big face in the background.
But she's
half
the
in
one-
shadow.
Yeah. Clarice is
She's
standing,
great.
and Carl
She's the-
Urban
yes.
is oiled up, holding Clarice's
She's
leg.
Yeah.
he's the one that's holding her
Yeah,
leg.
yeah.
Yeah, right. So Jodie Foster plays Clarice Starling, and
No surprise there. Carl
Yeah.
Urban.
Carl Urban plays Carl
Michael
Urban.
Caine plays the same character.
Yeah, there's actually not a lot of color in this cast at all.
Yeah, there's really isn't. There's really maybe Steven Seagal.
I guess just all the people that we already named play the people that we already named.
Yeah, I guess we kind of wrote ourselves into a bit of a corner there. Whoops.
Anyway, the tagline.
The real hero of this movie is.
Yeah, what's the poster say on it? Like a tagline?
Yeah,
or
what's the
something?
tagline of this movie?
Oh,
Don't just taste the rainbow, punch the rainbow.
Punch the rainbow! Holy shit!
or you be the rainbow.
Yeah.
Wait, no.
one can hear you scream.
Rainbow Warrior. He's every shade of evil.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. So,
The
guys,
end.
that was the Rainbow Warrior smash up, and that'll take us into our game.
Marry, fuck, kill. Marry, fuck, kill. Marry, fuck, kill. Marry, fuck, kill.
This is where we will name 3 different movies, and each of us will have to decide which movie we would marry, which movie we would fuck, and which movie we would kill. Todd.
Correct.
What are our 3 movies?
Okay, our 3 movies are movies with depictions of God.
Good.
Yeah. So we've got Morgan Freeman and Bruce Almighty, Alanis Morissette in Dogma, and just the good old burning bush from 10 Commandments. Which one would you marry? Which one did you fuck? And which one would you kill?
Oh God, literally.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a Jew, so I kind of have to I pretty much have to marry the burning bush.
You think so? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a thing,
Well,
right?
it's
Like,
like
you've
my-
got to marry the 10
it's like my
Commandments.
job.
Yeah, you have to, yeah.
It's
Charlton
actually,
Heston.
isn't it it's in the good book? Like, they're like,
Yeah.
if you actually
Charlton
have to play a
Heston's
game
there.
of marry, fuck, or kill,
Well,
you have
if
to
it's-
marry
if
the burning
Charlton
bush.
Heston's involved.
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
there. Well,
yeah.
it's the movie that so however you want to justify it is
Exactly.
As long as there's
Look, you
shirtless
might have
Charlton
to
Heston.
You might have to marry that bush, but you get a little side of Charlton Heston. So,
Ah.
I'm
not
all
too
for
bad.
that.
not bad,
Young Charlton Heston?
right?
Yes. I don't know what this Alana Morissette movie is.
What, Dogma?
I've never seen Dogma.
Oh, it's a Kevin Smith movie.
That's right. I have seen it.
Yeah.
I just never think of Alanis
At the end,
Morissette.
she's God. It's revealed that God is actually Alanis Morissette.
That's really hard to choose between
Alanis
Bruce
Morissette
and-
Welcome
or
to
Morgan Freeman.
Marry, fuck, kill.
Well, because I can't kill Morgan Freeman.
I mean,
like- You
can
technically,
try.
all of them are gods, so you can't really kill any of them.
Whoa. Let's
Unless
not loop
you-
in any technicalities.
Unless-
You got to choose one to
Well,
kill.
and also
Cold-blooded
Yeah, and
stab
if-
Morgan Freeman in the chest. Look at him in his dying eyes as he looks at you sadly, asking, Hillary, why? Looks up with tears like he's just
let's remember
about
that
to
also
cry.
Jim Carrey is also God for a good portion of that movie.
Yes.
Oh, so you could stab Jim Carrey when he's God.
Yeah.
All right.
Whoa.
No
So have you
offense
made
to
your
Jim
decision?
Carrey.
I think you.
I think I made
mean
my
offense.
decision.
So what are you going to do? You're going to...
Oh, I would totally fuck Alanis Morissette.
There you go.
All right.
Absolutely.
Good
And
for you,
And
Alanis
you'd kill
Morissette.
Morgan Freeman / Jim Carrey.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Anyone have theirs?
I'm going to go ahead and marry Alanis Morissette.
Oh, wow. Why is that, Todd?
Do you really have to ask that question? It's Alanis Morissette.
Sure.
She's the shit.
That's
Come
fine.
on. Listen, like you will either A, be married to Alanis Morissette, or B, eventually become the reason that she writes her greatest song. So yeah, I think I'd marry Alanis Morissette
And
then
Dogma, basically.
I think and Dogma. I don't want to fuck a burning bush because that sounds like I'm gonna get an STI of some kind. So I'm not gonna do that. And I'm gonna kill the burning bush.
Oh,
just pour
poor
some
burning
water on
bush.
it.
Sacrilegious.
Just put it out.
It's fucked up, Todd.
And then, so I guess that means I'm gonna have to fuck Morgan Freeman because who wouldn't want to hear that voice in bed?
Just right in your ear like a whisper.
Wow. Didn't even think about that as a
He'll
possibility.
just sit.
It's changing a lot of
we'll
my
just be having
answers now.
sex, and then he'll be like, "Say what to Neo," and I'll be like, "Oh my god, I came."
This is obviously not for children.
Talk to me, dirty Morgan Freeman.
And then when
Oh.
when I'm going down there's a tattoo that just says Brooks was here.
Yes. Yes. Greatest tattoo ever.
Wow. Grant, do you know your answer?
You got to marry Morgan Freeman.
Oh,
Ooh.
see, there you go. So you get it for life.
Yeah, then
Yeah.
You get that voice forever.
Yeah.
That's true. You get that nighttime voice. Morning,
You just have him,
day and night.
You know,
Every day.
yeah. You just have him like read your emails,
Yeah, exactly.
and
He's your
just-
voice of Siri
Yeah,
instead.
right. Yeah,
Honey,
Anything.
go to the store. And I can't do the voice, but, Morgan Freeman, get over here and you do your own voice. Special guest.
Do you fuck a Bush or a Kevin Smith character?
The question of the century.
Keep in mind, said Kevin Smith character is Alanis Morissette.
That's
With
true.
Angel
It could be
Wings.
any character.
But it is
You
still
could
a
fuck
Kevin Smith
Silent
character.
Bob if you wanted to.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound very pleasant.
There's also a poo monster in that movie. Let me just.
It's true.
Very
There is
true.
a-
Sign me up.
Yeah. Let me just remind everyone about that.
That's the demographic we've been targeting for a long time. Finally
Forgot
got
about
around
the poo
to it.
monster. All right, so I think you fuck the Bush and kill Alanis Morissette.
Oh, no.
Mainly because I'm intrigued by the mechanics of fucking a burning bush.
What kind of condom do you put on with the burning
like-
bush? Maybe it's like a
Maybe
liquid
it's
nitrogen
like one of those
condom.
like the stuntman
That would
like
freeze
hats that they put on when they're gonna
it
light
off.
themselves on fire.
Yeah, I think so.
Those they've got like that.
You tarp
blue
it up
glue
all
on
the
it,
way.
and like you slip one of those on.
But it's gotta.
And really, the question is which leaf, because there's a lot of leaf entry points. I mean, which
Right.
leaf entry point is right?
It's got to look like a little Evel Knievel costume for your dick.
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's got a helmet on it and everything.
And you kill Alanis Morissette.
Poor Alanis Morissette. Why kill Alanis Morissette, Grant?
Someone had to die.
No disrespect to Alanis Morissette.
Yeah, no
She's
disrespect.
fine.
You're uninvited.
You had a 33% chance of dying.
I think I would, for mine, I would, you know what, you kind of turned me, Todd. I would totally fuck Bruce Almighty because of Morgan Freeman. I mean, that's...
Yeah, right?
Do you think when Morgan Freeman
Wow.
comes, he says John Doe has the upper hand?
No, yeah, because you just made him come, so he just is like referring to you as John Doe.
He calls his penis John Doe.
What is it like?
So right
with,
before he's about
phone
John
sex
Doe has the
with
upper hand.
Morgan Freeman?
That's what I'm saying.
Like-
There's so
Yeah.
many
Well,
great
fast.
opportunities with sex with
Yeah,
Morgan
booty
Freeman.
call, Morgan Freeman booty call. Are you kidding? Come on.
Oh, who's calling you, Jay? Just Morgan Freeman.
He just wants that.
Just really
D
wants
again.
that late night. Jay,
that sweet,
Jay, can you
sweet-
come over, Jay?
Wants that D.
I miss you, Jay. Oh God. All right, so
I've
definitely
been in prison for 40 years. I learned a thing or two.
that's when Andy Dufresne took off his pants.
What if at the end when they pull out?
Showed me where.
What if at the end?
Showed me where he'd been hiding all that.
In like that epic pull out when they find each other on the beach. What if they just like really far away? You just start seeing they just start taking off their clothes and like having sex right on the beach.
I literally just
You're like,
spit take
"What?"
right now. Oh my God. All right, so definitely sex with Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
And marry Dogma.
Okay.
Marry Dogma and Alanis Morissette. Not just for Alanis Morissette. That movie is just so crazy that it's just so much fun.
Yeah.
I mean, people forget Chris Rock is in there as a 13th apostle. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Jay and Silent
black.
Bob is so fun. Great. Thank you. And also, we've got Matt Damon. We've got Ben Affleck. We've got a lot of crazy... It's a crazy...
Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman as the voice of God. We have a lot of wacky characters. I would love...
Voice of God.
He is the voice of God. He's Metatron, the voice of God.
Metatron.
He's
need to see this
Metatron
movie
is not
again.
God.
He's the voice of God in the movie.
Is this a
Swear to God. he is Megatron. I would marry Megatron
Yeah.
Michael Bay's Dogma.
in Dogma.
Michael Bay's Dogma.
And I would
Michael Bay, please remake this movie.
I would kill the burning bush, but I think it'd because I would do it accidentally. Because I'd put out that fire first because, that's gonna be very dangerous.
Be like,
Put that out first and then
Jay. And then it'd just be like, oh my God,
hold
it's
on
on
a second.
fire.
And then throw it all over it.
No, that's not what you kind of ruined the illusion, Jay. I was going to speak to you through
Now
the
I'm
burning
just a
bush.
bush.
Now I'm just a bunch of wood without any leaves.
well, then you need to call Steven Seagal because
When
he
you
can make
put
that
out
wood
the-
into anything.
There you go.
When you
Rainbow
put out
Warrior.
the fire, does it die or is it still like alive?
I don't think you can
You
put out the
can't
fire.
put it out,
That's the point.
But you can put your hand in it; it won't burn you.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you for coming on here and
Yes.
talking about
Thank you so
Thank you for
much.
marrying and
Thank
fucking
you.
things.
We really
and
appreciate you guys.
Rainbow Warriors.
Go off into the Arctic.
Yes.
And
You will find Carl Urban there.
yes,
Have a
That's what I
vision
always
quest.
wanted.
Thanks for listening. I hope you learned a lot about vision quests and Carl Urban. If you're enjoying the show and you've got a second or two, a quick rating or review on iTunes would be amazing. Or you could share the show with a friend. Either way, we really appreciate your support. And as always, we'll be posting a new episode every other week. And if you'd like to download more episodes or check out other similar podcasts, well, head over to partialarc.com. That's ARC with a C. Of course, you can email us any questions or movie recommendations at blockbustersmashup@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Tumblr, all at Partial Arc. If you'd like to keep up with Hillary Levi, you can follow her on Twitter at Hillary Levi. And if you'd like to hear more from Grant Olin, you can follow him on Twitter at Grant_Olin. That's OLIN. And of course, you can follow Todd on Twitter and Instagram at TG11. Thanks for listening, and see you on the next episode of Blockbuster Smash Up.
Let's go home.